All right. Hello, tribe, and welcome to our Black EXP Network Agent Spotlight feature for the month of April. I'm Mario Dove, and I'm excited to have Keichel Lewter with me today. Keichel is not only a dedicated realtor, but she's also an inspiring community activist who works to address social and economic disparities in her city of Baltimore. Her commitment to initiatives like Furniture for Families and the Black Home Project truly embodies the spirit of giving back and making positive impact. Today, we have the opportunity to learn more about Keichel's journey, her insights on fair housing, and her vision for creating more equitable communities through homeownership. So, welcome, Keichel.
Hello there. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on right now.
We're so excited to have you. So, can you tell us a little bit about your journey in real estate and what inspired you to become a realtor?
Yes, absolutely. So, I've been in the industry going on 5 years. It'll be 5 years in May. And I originally got into the industry through my mom. My mom has been in the mortgage industry well over 30 years. Okay. And she planted the seed at one point. She said, "You should be a realtor. You'll be really good at it." And I was like, absolutely not. And so didn't know that was growing on the inside of me. And I went on and pursued it. And I mean, year 5, I'm here and I love it.
Thank God, year 5. That's, they say that number, there's that magic number there. You made it.
I made it.
Mama, we made it.
Barely, but I'm here.
That's all right. So as a spotlight agent for the month of April, what does this recognition mean to you?
I'm just excited to be able to just be a part of this organization. And God gave me a vision and I wrote it down, and somehow he's put it together where I've been able to do these works. This is a God thing for me. So I'm gonna give all the glory to God. And I'm just grateful that he used me to allow me to do this work.
Absolutely. Write it down and make it plain, right?
Absolutely.
Is that what they say, right?
Yeah. So I consider myself somewhat of like a visionary because just in my studying time, that's when I'm able to write out a lot of my projects or my ideas related to real estate or the community. My faith, honestly, is a really strong foundation for a lot of the work that I've done in building my business.
That's good. That is good. So you've been actively engaged in the community initiatives such as Furniture for Families and the Black Home Project. So can you share more about those endeavors?
Yes, absolutely. Furniture for Families. That was my first baby. In 2016, I launched the first furniture bank of Baltimore City. I always just know I had the heart to serve, and I had some challenges growing up, and I wanted to put myself in a position where I could utilize whatever I had, whatever resources I had, and present them to other people. Also wanted to be a bridge where I could connect people to services. And so Furniture for Family, again, another God thing that he planted in me, and out of nowhere, I was able to get the resources, the funding, and just bring it all together. I had some really great contracts with some of the local teaching schools, a lot of the social workers in the area. And so I was able to make a really, really big impact. I had pretty much passed the baton to another gentleman who currently runs the Furniture Bank here in Baltimore.
Furniture Bank, I like that. You guys phrase that.
And now I have a new baby, which is Black Home Project.
It's a powerful website, powerful message. I like what you guys are doing, and it's absolutely needed, especially in this time.
Absolutely. And thank you for checking out our website. Not to plug myself, but I did it on Canva. I've utilized all the resources we have available.
Sure.
But yeah.
I like it. Love it. Yeah, and Canva can take up a lot of your time, but it's a powerful tool. It is a powerful tool. So use your resources.
Yeah. Canva and ChatGPT is taking our real estate businesses to the next level.
Amen.
Yeah.
But how do you balance your real estate career with your commitment to community activism and social justice initiatives that you're working on?
How
do you keep all that balance, right?
I have challenges balancing my home and work life, but it's funny because they kind of all come together. It all just comes together. It's just really just who I am. I can show up being myself in pretty much any environment. And a lot of times I'm only in environments that are, conducive to the vision or my purpose. So for example, I used to go out. I used to party a lot. And so if you look at my social media, I used to go out and hang out in the hookah lounges. But now I find myself spending a lot of my social time at events that are related to the community or related to real estate.
Sure.
So yeah, that's kind of where like I said, I've just kind of merged it all. The community aspect, the real estate aspect, and the social aspect is just really who I am now.
Yeah. It's more than a job, right? It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get into a little heavier topic here. Can you discuss the importance of home ownership within the minority communities? So with April being, Fair Housing Month, this is a powerful conversation addressing, wealth disparities and, promoting economic empowerment. What is it that we can do as professionals in the industry to help in that course?
Black homeownership, Black and brown homeownership is very important. It's crucial in the time that we live in. Most of us have recognized that we have a large racial wealth gap here in America. And it's pretty much impacted the whole economy. One way to resolve that large gap is if we become the bridge and we connect Black and brown families to those resources to help prepare them for home ownership and walk them through the process.
Right.
And the reason why, I'm, really pushing this initiative and calling realtors to come on board is because it may require us to offer services that are outside of our normal activities.
Sure.
You might have to do a little bit more than you would with a normal lead as far as nurturing. Yeah. And so I just kind of want to get us in the mindset of the impact that we could potentially make together when we just align ourselves as an educator and a resource for all communities.
Yeah.
And the government has already, recognized that they're leaving a lot of money on the table by not addressing Black home ownership. The banks are falling in line right now. They have a lot of money, all of the big banks. Bank of America is one that I have a really good partnership with. They have $17,000 for first-time buyers, 620 credit score. And here in Baltimore, you're able to stack those grants with the local grants. So people can get $25,000, $30,000 to buy a property in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the big banks are doing that. Wells Fargo, PNC, they recognize that there's a demographic of people that we've dropped the ball on. And in order for us to improve the economy and also make more money,
sure,
we need to address this demographic of people. And for realtors as well, like you guys are leaving a lot of money on the table by, sometimes overlooking those clients that may need a little bit more nurturing than others. That's why, I'm really shouting as much as I can, help us close the racial wealth gap with Black home ownership. And it's already happening, believe it or not. We are seeing the impact. I'm seeing recent news articles that are showing that Black home ownership has been increasing over the last year.
Sure.
So our work, it's happening. We are doing the work. I really appreciate the Black EXP network. When I type in that Black Homeownership Week hashtag and I see EXP, I get emotional. And I see EXP like holding it down and putting that information out there.
Yeah.
I'm just in awe, and you guys are doing the Lord's work. And I just pray that God continues to bless you all. We're really just planting this seed for a big shift and change that's happening here in our country.
You're speaking of the Black EXP Network, and I love, the fact that we refer to it as the tribe, because you're right. We come as a group,
Absolutely.
And we hear one shouting from the rooftop, and we're going to come and do some work too. So. Yeah. Speaking of Baltimore, right? In the news right now for some other things, but it is highlighting, the very powerful leadership that you guys have in place. Not only with the Governor Westmore, but with your young mayor there, and the initiatives that they're pushing in the local community. I've seen something here recently. A lot of us, when we think about Baltimore, we think about the Wire and we think about those row houses from the Wire, and that a lot of those homes now are being sold at well below market to encourage investment in the neighborhood, and bring those communities of blight back up to where they need to be, and encourage, home ownership in the Black neighborhood. So kudos to Baltimore, kudos to the realtors out there on the ground, like yourself, that are, helping push those initiatives forward.
I'm really excited to just be here at this time. We know we had a really big incident over the last week here, but I also see that incident is going to bring a lot of change here to the economy in Baltimore.
Sure.
So the market's definitely going to pick up more than it's, the federal government's going to be drilling money here. And I mean, they have been since the pandemic, but now I think they have some other things that, they want to address. A lot of times when Baltimore is on the news, the city is somewhat under a magnifying glass where people can see all of the other issues, the underlying issues in the city. And so here's another incident where people get to see, okay, what's going on in Baltimore? Well, let's find out about the communities that are surrounding the bridge, the colleges and where the colleges are located and the people there. And so, it's a good time to be here, and it's a great market to be, to be working in. Because, like I said, it's a lot of resources available for home buyers here currently.
I think it was Warren Buffett that said, that chaos breeds opportunity. So, I'm excited to see, what's coming, for the city of Baltimore out of all this when it's all said and done.
And there's this book that I learned about. I didn't read the whole book, but it was featured in, I want to say, the Realtor magazine a few years ago. And I think it's called The Black Butterfly Effect or something along those lines. And it's a story about Baltimore. It's about Baltimore's systemic racism and redlining and blue lining and green lining, and why Baltimore is the way that it is today.
Sure.
There was a gentleman who went to school in the city of Baltimore, and he couldn't understand why the communities were structured the way that they were. So he did his research, and he wrote a phenomenal book on Baltimore City and systemic racism. And that book also planted a huge seed in me, where I said, okay, something's up.
Right.
I grew up actually in the suburbs of Baltimore County. So I didn't grow up in the city, but I had a lot of challenges, growing up financially. So I could identify with a lot of the things that inner city families may have dealt with.
Sure. But yeah, I totally get it, and I totally understand it. And, what is evident to me, outside looking in, you have a huge heart, and you have a passion for your city and your community, and it shows. You can definitely hear it in the words that you speak and in the actions that you perform. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So keeping it heavy.
Okay.
So with the recent settlement between the National Association of Realtors and the Department of Justice, we all know what it said. We know what it's talking about: decoupling, buyer and seller representation, compensation, real estate transactions, that whole thing, right? How do you envision this change impacting fair housing initiatives?
I think that it will create challenges, and I think that it will slow the economy. And capitalism, I don't want to say it runs the country, but that's important here,
right?
For all businesses and all households. And so I feel like if it's going to slow the economy down, I think they're going to do something about it.
Yeah, I when we're talking about, fair housing initiatives, a lot of our attention goes to, low income people and underserved people on the margins, right? Me personally, I see a future where the government is going to step in, and there's going to be some more grants and things of that nature that'll help with those closing costs, that'll help with those realtor compensations and everything else that goes along with that. So fun times to come, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just the way that we present our business will change somewhat. Sure. So we might have to become. We have to be salespeople at all times, right? So we have to sell ourselves, sell our product, sell, different concepts from, staging to professional photography to now the buyer's commission.
Sure.
And so, as a business owner and as a professional, I'll go out and take as many classes as I can, read as many books as I can just to prepare myself. But I'm out here. I'm I'm headed to year 10 any year now.
That's awesome. My question is, what steps can individual realtors take to ensure they're promoting fair housing and combating discrimination in their practices?
Have an open mind and have the heart to serve. Impact before income. I had a really great year last year. And I mean, when I first started the business, I had a whole book, written out business plan based on numbers. I went in the place for like 6 months where I didn't close anything, but I spent a lot of time nurturing leads and developing resources that I could share to the community about homeownership. So now that's my focus, creating an impact, service. The opportunities will come. People recognize you in your local community and ask you to come to their schools or their churches, creating a service-based, high-level service.
It does. Aligning your business, aligning it with your purpose, and it's allowing you to flourish. It's allowing your business to flourish, your impact in the community to flourish. I'm not gonna stalk you on social media without giving you the likes, the comments, and the shares, but
right.
I'm excited to see what you do in the future.
Yeah, thank you. I am too. I'm excited to see what we all do together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we are making an impact.
As we wrap it up, do you have any advice or words of encouragement for your fellow realtors who are passionate about promoting fair housing and equity in the housing in housing?
Focus on the impact. When someone comes to you, find a solution. Every transaction has a different, unique problem that you can solve. Find a way to solve it. Don't let that lead fall to the side, but become a true source. And you'd be surprised how many people may refer someone to you just because you took time to actually care for them or listen to them, or support them or service them. Become a servant in this business.
Absolutely.
especially in relation to fair housing, and us wanting to make a difference in underserved communities.
Or people like us, right? Here's my favorite question. If we're 5 years down the road, you're here now. So in 5 years, where do you see Keichel Lewter and her business?
If everything goes right, if God delivers, I think that's the world that we're going into, and we need strong leadership. So that's where I see myself in 5 years. So it'll be my 10-year mark. Is that what we're saying?
5 years from now.
That's the direction I want to go into, more so supporting other agents and building other agents. And hopefully I won't be in the streets every day showing homes, but I would like to slow down a little bit, maybe have a family one day, which would be great, which is why I joined this organization. I knew that it had flexibility, so that I can continue to build a business along with building a family at the same time. So that's kind of where I see myself going. But right now, I'm a road runner for now. Yeah. I'm on the road, always running to my next show, into my next listing appointment, to the next home inspection.
Moving it out there, getting it done.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Keichel, for sharing your insights and experience with us today. Your dedication to both your real estate career and the community and activism is truly inspiring. And to our audience, I encourage you to continue the conversation by sharing your thoughts and reflections on today's interview. Let's work together to promote fair housing, equity, and empower our communities. So remember to stay tuned for more engaging content and interviews from the Black EXP Network. Together, we can make a difference. Again, Keichel, thank you for joining us today. Y'all take care.